forget to hit the like button. I think because City need the 3 points more, they could go to attacking, and that will leave space for Arsenal to counter into. Gonna need a captain's performance from Odegaard. Wondergaard, you said it there, man. You think 30% for Arsenal. I think Arsenal nowadays play a lot more possession. It'll probably be a lot more closer, but I don't know for percentages. I just think we'll concede possession naturally. City are a better team on the ball. They're slightly more dominant. But it's what you do with possession that makes all the difference. It probably will be a lot closer, probably 60-40. But who knows? I think there will be stages where both teams have the other team under the caution kind of onto them. But it's what you do with the ball. I've seen Arsenal win games with hardly any possession. I've seen us lose games with dominance on the ball. It's what you do with possession that makes all the difference, really. And if we're honest with ourselves, we need to get back to basics. First thing, and because you mentioned possession has to correlate to winning games. We haven't been efficient and effective in the final third in the last few games. We could have scored against City. We didn't in the FA Cup. We're out. We could have scored more against Brentford if we was, if it was the Arsenal that started the season. We had a bit of a wobble. Obviously, the refs done us a bit dirty. And I feel that, the refs is a problem there. And on the balance of that, we should have won 1-0. But had we have scored 3-4, at best, it's just a talking point about a lack of a clean sheet. Against Everton, across all we weren't at it. Football's a simple game. It's played in the middle of the park. It's decided in both areas. If you don't score more goals than your opponent and you don't keep them at the back of the net, you're not winning, innit? It's a simple game complicated by idiots. And again, it's more of a mentality thing. I hope that this game will be overhyped and things like that. But it's our greatest enemy is ourselves, because we did well against City in the last game last season at the Emirates, but we defeated ourselves. We switched off, gave away a penalty. We switched off at the dying embers of the game, and RODRI scored. Yes, the ref could have done us dirty in that game. Yes, we was good, but it needs to correlate to 3 points. We're approaching the business end of the season now, where there's no time for shenanigans, quite simply, people. Either you win or you lose. Football's a simple game, once again. Appreciate you lot for persisting, people. There's just some technical difficulties here. I don't know what they want me to do about any of this, but I think we're there now and we're over that. So yeah, keep your thoughts coming. Don't forget to subscribe with Amazon Prime. Arsenal just need to be clinical and take their key chances. I don't want to hear no waffling about referees. Trossard has to start. Reckon we can really get at their makeshift fullbacks. I think City can be got at, man. Both teams at their best start fast, so I wouldn't be shocked if there's 5 goals in the first half. I don't know if my heart rate can take that, man. Hopefully not, really and truly, if I'm completely honest with you. Again, fine margins in life. If we look at how City have played, I think this is it. If we look at the City team that played us at the Emirates, well, Etihad better yet, sorry, people. 1 sec, because I need my notes on my other screen. Where is it? Google Docs, help me out. If we look at the game at the Emirates, I keep saying the Emirates, Etihad, people, apologies. Where is my notes for that? There you are. When we lost 1-0, you look at it, it was an even game. And to be fair, it probably will be a more even one to go back to possession. We had 46% of the ball to their 54%. They played 492 passes. We played 417. They had 8 shots. We had 5. We had 2 on target. They had 3. Fine margins. They won it. Their left back scored. We had 3 corners. They had none. So it's what you do with the ball. And again, it's going to be a different team, really and truly. City probably had closer to their strongest 11 than ours. And their left back, Ake, scored. But that's all it could be. It doesn't matter if you play well. If you switch off for a second, as Tomiyasu, if I can remember, Tomiyasu, Saka, potentially Lokonga could have done better. Either way, Ake scored, in it, not to just blame players. And Matt Turner had a decent game. But there were positives. I did like how we won our individual battles. I do like how we kept Haaland quiet. I do like how we had indirect chances, but obviously we just didn't have that added quality. Now, we know they went with inverted fullbacks. They went with RODRI. Well, not that they need to play fullbacks, because unofficially in games they've got a 3 at the back. Ake will do left back duties. Grealish will drift inside. You've got RODRI there. You've got Rico Lewis there as well. They've got a fantastic kind of fluid system, just focusing on the middle thirds of the pitch. And we have seen them also play 4-4-2. You've seen 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, many denominations of 3 at the back. And City system is amazing. It's absolutely amazing, regardless of who plays there. So we need to win our battles, but they can be got at. Akanji and Ake have been good this season. Ake was going to leave, and he's been one of their key players. Akanji's been one of the signings of the season. But if I'm cynical, and Stones is injured, Diaz has been struggling with fitness, and he'll probably play. If I'm cynical, could you say they've gone from having a certain caliber of centre backs to Akanji and Ake. Maybe that's where their issues are. They can be got at. It almost looks like a culture shock when Manchester City have to do some sort of defending people. So we could probably expect it to be a game along the lines of this. You know, Haaland's going to be up there. You know, Grealish is going to have the half space. You know, you're going to have whoever behind him. It could be Kevin De Bruyne, or it could be many a players. Like my notes, if I look at it against Aston Villa, or better yet against Arsenal, you know, you had Gundogan. Let's actually put some names in here. You had Grealish, you had Gundogan, and Gundogan someone to watch. Again, midfield runners. You had Gundogan, you had obviously KDB, and you had Riyad Mahrez on the right-hand side. You had Riyad Mahrez on the right-hand side, people. Mahrez, again, I don't need to tell you about any of these players. They're all problematic. And obviously, again, in real time, there's not going to be this much of a gap. You know, you had Haaland there as well, if you want to put his name in. And obviously, you had Stones and Akanji. And obviously, you've got Rico Lewis, who, you know, plays a bit like a light-skinned Zinchenko, and it cuts into midfield, will go out wide. Obviously, you've got Gundogan making further runs forward and dropping deep. You've got Rodri, who does actually help with progressive passes, but almost acts like a safety net there. Ake will end up being the left back, like we saw, where he obviously went on and scored. Kanji will be in possession. It won't be Stones. It'll probably be Diaz, who's a physical problem. But they've got a lovely system, assuming they went out and played like this, skipping some of the names out as well, people. You know, they've got a fantastic system, really and truly. If you're completely honest with you, it can drift into many. It could be a 3, it could be a 5, it could be a 2 up front. They've got many players. You can't not admire them in it. But the key is to win our individual battles, which we kind of did in the last game, people. We did win our individual battles. So yeah, if you put Ramsdale in there, of course, I need my centre backs on it. Whether it's Haaland, Julian Alvarez, a fit Haaland, or whatever. I need Saliba and Gabriel. Gabriel, you've been very good last few weeks. If I'm cynical, as much as I like Saliba, his age has probably been highlighted. If I'm Haaland or I'm Man City, that's the avenue to get at. So there needs to be communication. This is why I'm not sure. Do you play Benjamin White? Do you go with Zinchenko? Because in reality, if Arsenal get onto things and we're in possession, Zinchenko, I want to see you there. Odegaard's going to be dropping deep, but primarily you want to see him there. Xhaka normally is in this sort of half space. You've got Bukayo Saka, who wants to play narrow, but because typically in the last few games, you know, Benjamin White hasn't necessarily been overlapping. Our wingers, apologies, have been receiving the ball here, people, and we don't need that. I want to see whether it's Martinelli or Trossard, who I hope it is, isolate them 1v1, you know, have young Rico Lewis not just thinking it's a movie. Is he stuck in two minds? Do I do my traditional fullback stuff, or do I stay inside? Rodri's only one man. I want to see our wingers isolated against whoever is playing there, because the last few games we haven't. If Saka's receiving it on the halfway line, you don't mind that, because typically if Grealish, who has improved defensively, smash the like button, does so, he's gonna be marked out of the game, really, and that's literally gonna stop us progressing. I want us to be brave in possession. It goes without saying. You know, Zinni, we're gonna need you. Odegaard, we're gonna need you. Saka, we're gonna need you. Eddie and Ketty, you've kind of gone off the boil a bit and looked a bit tired. We're going to need you, really. We need to be brave in possession. If we make a mistake, keep going, really. It's as simple as that. Eddie and Ketty is going to have to drop deep into midfield as well and consistently, because again, you're not going to, in terms of a battle of numbers, if we just assume it's Diaz or Stones, it's probably Diaz. You're not going to, he's done well against Spurs, his back three, but you're not going to, one man can't beat three guys. So you're going to have to drop deep on occasion, people. So again, can we win our individual battles? Because if you're City, you're going to take advantage of the space. If in an ideal world, Arsenal are in possession, we have high quality on the ball, and the Thomas Partey's, the Granites, they're all on it. You know, they're all on it for us, and they're going to take advantage of the spaces, people, really and truly. In real time, you probably see Arsenal build up play something like this. Again, it's annoying me how not everyone's got their name. Sorry, folks. Gabriel, White. Sometimes White's got the half spaces, but typically, if we've got possession, again, in an ideal world, and we get out of this, Partey has Zinchenko to find. You know, Benjamin should be on his bike. Saka should be on his bike. Odegaard does like to drop deep, but I want him to stay here. You know, I want him to have real. We're going to need him in terms of pressing them, but I want him in behind and in and around their 6-yard box in their area. No coincidence when Saka, Odegaard, and Cole, Benjamin White, they got on the overlap against Brentford for one of the only times we scored a goal. in real time, our build-up play, Partey will find Zinchenko. Xhaka stays slightly further forward. Trossard probably be a bit more narrow. Eddie could drop and provide a space for someone to run into. But historically, you're probably going to see that, really. You know, you hope Saka's there. So we need to take advantage. But then again, you can see the gaps. You know, you've got Haaland, where if I'm honest, sometimes our centre-back ball watch. There's a lot of space for Mahrez out there. Gundogan will drop into midfield and makes fantastic runs forward. Again, follow your midfield runners, please, if you're not going to do anything. Grealish against White is a decent little battle because I do think Grealish has kind of found his feet, but he's not really going to consistently take White on. He's going to play narrow. Rodri is obviously going to be a safety net, but him and Lewis are going to, assuming it's this, are going to have to operate in such a role. Win your battles, be slick on the transition because they're going to leave gaps, man. You know how City are. They're going to have a lot of possession. They're probably going to venture forward. There's going to be spaces between their centre halves. Get at them. There's gaps there, but we have to believe. And as I said, I want Saka isolated. We did the last two games, him, Martinelli, Trossard, they're not isolated enough. I need my midfield to be brave as well. I need us to go back to basics in that regard. So for me, the lineup would probably be, obviously, Eddie picks himself. I hear all the talk about Martinelli playing through the middle and all these things, people. But for me, I don't think it's the game for that. Can we just stick to the basics for now, really? So I'm probably going to go Eddie. Not that there's much more. Bukayo Saka. I'm probably going to go with. I do think it's one way you wish 12 players could play. I just think Trossard has done well in the minutes he's got. He's experienced and he's away from Arsenal versus City and what this game means or doesn't mean. He's joined a new club. You're not playing. So there's that added sort of thing with him. The midfield picks it. Pressing. Granite, I need you today, well, tomorrow as well, because you've been off the boil. If Xhaka doesn't play good, we're not going to play good. The same with City. Again, just off topic. We need, just assuming Rodri's here. That's the man. You stop Rodri. You don't quite stop City, but you stop them. Get at him. He's the guy. He's the glue. He's not going to be the most key player that people look at when you've got Haaland, Alvarez, Mahrez, Gundogan, so on and so forth. You stop Rodri, you're going to ask their centre-backs to play on the ball a lot more. You know, again, if you stop Rodri, again, these lot deal with it week in, week out, being pressed, having to play out from the back. But if Rodri's there receiving the ball, and let's just assume that their centre-backs are there, now City can go long, they can cut you. But if we sit off Rodri and we allow him to get the ball, obviously he could turn and he can find several targets, people. Assuming again our centre-back should be on. Let's make it look like people are actually on side. Haaland in a foot race is long. And you do know Haaland makes that devilish run where he kind of drops deep, acts like he's not involved and runs off people's shoulders. You've got Mahrez and several other talents dotted around the squad, people. Don't let Rodri turn and pick up out passes. Now, obviously, at times he's going to. Or if we stand on him, Rodri's going to go backwards. And then you're going to rely on these centre-halves to play out from the back a lot more. Maybe they pull it into channels. Maybe they go long. Stones isn't going to be there, but maybe Diaz carries it out from the back. Probably going to be Ake. He seems to be the one once given a license to do that. Can you take advantage of maybe if he goes forward, he gets caught? Let's just assume Eddie wins it. He finds Saka and Bob could be your uncle. That's the key. You stop Rodri. We've done half the job. But yeah, like I was saying, Eddie and Ketty up there for me. Odegaard's over there. Trossard picks himself for me. Saka's there. Granit Xhaka, Thomas Partey's there. Obviously, part of me wants to go Tomiyasu, so I'm actually going to go Tomiyasu because, you know, Benjamin White's not exactly offering an attacking outlet, so it doesn't really matter. That's one of the criticisms you could say of Tomiyasu, although you could probably, you know, completely disregarding Xhaka. Not that I think he'll do that, but Zinchenko and Partey, Thomas Partey could work. And obviously you could put Tomiyasu over there. You've got one of your best defenders against Mahrez, you know, 1v1 demon. You saw what he did at left back against Salah a few weeks ago. And then you'd still have Benjamin White in there. But for me, I don't think it's one of them games there. So I'd go with Zinni. Ramsdale and the two centre-backs obviously pick themselves, people. You've got Ramsdale over there. You've got Gabriel over there, as you know already. You've got Saliba again. They're going to get at you, you know. They're going to get at you. What happened to Gabriel there? Must have deleted that by accident. Sorry, folks. But yeah, you've got Gabby over there. Granite, come back over here, definitely. It's probably what I'm going with, people. It's probably what I'm going with in the middle, well, all over the pitch. The midfield battle is obviously crucial. These three, they have to be in sync. Odegaard, don't get twisted. You're going to have to do your fair share of dropping deep, and you're going to have to do your fair share of organising the press. City are a great team. They're pressed week in, week out. They'll get out of that, man. So we're going to have to be at it. We're going to have to be at it, really and truly. We're unbeaten in our last 13 Premier League matches at the Emirates Stadium, drawing 2 and winning 11. Arteta's only PL loss in games refereed by Anthony Taylor was to Manchester City, where he's won 8, drawn 1 and lost 1. So we'll have to see. Arsenal have kept just 2 clean sheets in their last 15 Premier League home matches, and I don't think that is going to change tomorrow. But that's something. Defensively, we need to get back to basics, people. And again, when you look at where we've conceded, the last 3 goals Arsenal have conceded have been headers and have come from set pieces. Naturally, City, that's an angle for them to want to obviously get at. I was reading this by Pep Guardiola. A lot of this is irrelevant, people. It highlighted Bernardo Silva's role against Aston Villa, which is something Arteta will be mindful of. But there was where was it? There was something he said about Arsenal. Where is it? Said every team plays in a different way, so I have to adapt. For example, Arsenal make it man-to-man, so the way you attack and defend is completely different than against a team that defends their 18-yard box with 11 players. Adapting to that is one of the keys to understanding how we need to play. So he assumes that we're going to go 1v1. And I think there was a lot of positives to take from the FA Cup game in that regards. So maybe we could do that. They're coming for blood, people. Look at what they're on, people. Gundogan says City will travel to Arsenal aiming to reclaim top spot in the Premier League by claiming all 3 points. You wouldn't let someone come into your house and steal all your stuff or harm your children. So don't let them come to the Emirates and take 3 points, really and truly. If they take it over your dead body. Gundogan said, most probably it's going to be one of the toughest games we have played in recent years against a very strong Arsenal side with a very similar style of play with a great manager and a great team. I think we're ready to go on Wednesday. We'll travel to London to try to win the game and get the 3 points, even though we know it's going to be hard, but it's going to be a top game and we'll try to get the 3 points. We're playing against the best side in England, and so far this season it's going to be a top game. They're a side that we know very well. We expect football of the highest quality. We are all looking forward to it. So there you have it, really and truly. He went on to say and praise their reaction against Villa and so on and so forth. Rodri's on us as well. He said this is a cup final, basically. Arsenal clash is a final for us, people. So they're on this thing. It's a very important game for us. It's not a final, but we have to play it like it's a final because they're the best team in the league up to now. We have been great over the last month, even though sometimes we have not had the best results. I think the performance of the team against Aston Villa shows that we're going to fight, and we have to go there with great ambition after recovery because it will be a massive game for us. And we've had an extra day's preparation for them. They're also traveling, so hopefully these fine margins help us. If I'm honest, we don't think about these things. We don't think we are the favourites or not, despite what we have done. There are still 16 games to go. It's a lot. Yeah, we have the chance to go to Arsenal and be top of the table. I hope we can show the best performance of the team against the best opponents right now in the Premier League. They have shown up until now. I think we have to show our personality, our champions' personality from this moment until we go to the Emirates. Show we can fight against them and we can put on a good game. So let's see what's going on. I don't really care if Haaland's there or not there. We have to have the mentality that he is, people. But allegedly, Haaland has trained people. Bit upset that Mikel Arteta's press conference ain't been there. But you've got Haaland. Who cares? Because you just have to get it done, really and truly. We just have to get it done. We'll look at the transfer news in a second, people. But that's all I've got to say in relation to the game. What more have you lot got to say? Let me see you lot's thoughts.